I think it just shows that we can really be something in that industry, and it's not just getting a degree, it is actually getting a career as well. Quite cool to tell people that you do work for a Premier League club as well.
Yeah, all the jobs that I applied for and experienced while I was at uni was on job season through the ECP team.
We've almost got a family of UCFB students here. I think there's about 8 or 9 of us graduates that are now here.
So I didn't really do great at school, but obviously I went to college, and then obviously I heard about UCFB, and the requirements like really stood out to me. I just thought that I could be good at this. I could actually be good at something academically.
Uni was always something that I didn't know if I wanted to do. Didn't think I was good enough to do, because at school I wasn't amazing. So I ended up going to UCFB. As I said, first year was lockdown, so you was online, you was in person. It was a bit difficult. Everyone knows that time was difficult. But a role come up that was remote, which at that time, that was a big thing at Newport. And that was essentially working remotely, doing their sort of visual identity, their graphics for their social media. So that would be like their starting lineups, things for the program, match day graphics, that sort of thing, which is a bit different to broadcasting and what I did at uni, but I had a skill set in it and I enjoyed that as well. Managed to get that within my first couple of months of being at uni, which was a big shock actually, to be working in a League Two environment that early on.
Second year was when I really started to look for a job within sport. I was doing like other jobs alongside that. And then I got a job at Borehamwood as their social media intern. And then I also had a job here at West Ham already as a family liaison officer. So juggling that was quite a challenge on top of uni work as well. So I think that time really helped, like made me realise that I needed time management and also prioritise work and uni work as well at the same time, which was quite difficult. Borehamwood taught me a lot, like so many skills, especially like with Photoshop and that type of stuff, because I didn't have any experience with that.
During my first year in the summer, I took a work experience at AFC Fylde. That was through the UCFB's relationship with the National League at the time, and I think still that's going strong now. And that was kind of after my first year, I'd kind of really got my foot in the door. I kind of did all my semesters and I was there like, right, I want to kind of get some experience under my belt. So maybe done about 6 weeks at AFC Fylde. Came back to UCFB in second year, and again I wanted to make use of it, but this time while I was still at uni, so not really during the summer. I wanted to do it side by side with my studies. So in my second year, I took the opportunity to work at Sutton United. So there I did a marketing and media placement. So I worked a lot on their social media and trying to bring the community in together at Sutton United. And I did that right in through year 2 and year 3 at UCFB. And that was brilliant in terms of the relationships I got from that and kind of getting my foot in the door of my first real life football club. And with it being in the National League, I got a lot more hands-on into what I was doing. I was doing a lot of stuff across the board. I wasn't just sat on one thing.
I did apply for this role that I'm in now through Job Teaser. Taylor and a few other people put me forward and said to my bosses, now Evie's applied for this role, would you be able to like have a chat with her? And literally within a week I had the job. So it is literally who you know, not what you know. I know that's quite stereotypical, but it really is in this industry.
The biggest thing was the opportunity to have opportunities, as silly as that sounds. You could go to UCFB, get yourself a degree and get yourself work experience, which is the crucial thing to get a role essentially. And the fact that I could come to UCFB and get experience at professional clubs, at broadcasters, at various other agencies, and do that while I was studying was a massive thing for me and a big reason why I decided to go there.
Picking UCFB because it's ultimately putting your passion for sport, and for me it was football, but putting that through education. So I was really intrigued into marketing and finance. So there I wanted to do ultimately a marketing and finance degree, but I then put that with my passion for football and sport, and that came through with UCFB. Is putting together that and coming up with the football business and finance degree. and just the opportunities that came with it, as well as that. It's just kind of everything that's promoted outside, not just the degree. The degree is kind of on its own, but the kind of extracurricular activities that are kind of promoted within UCFB was a massive selling point compared to other universities.
And that's when a role at Cambridge appeared and come up through the uni, through Job Teaser, and I applied. I did know a few people at Cambridge, with it being quite local to me, and I ended up there essentially for that season, which would have been I think it was end of second year going into third, so the last season essentially. And I was there as a videographer doing 1 day a week in the week, like around my studies, and then 1 day on a match day, home and away with them, covering their games, and that was great. And around the same sort of time, a few months into that, the same role come up at West Ham as an intern, as 1 day a week, and sort of a little bit of match days here and there. And with being a West Ham fan, you know, that come up, and I was like, I've got to try and take it. And I remember speaking to you, Simon, and you was like, we've just started at Cambridge, see what happens. And I didn't want to leave I didn't want to leave Cambridge, so I decided to do them at the same time. So essentially I was working at Cambridge and at West Ham at the exact same time, 2 days a week, one at West Ham, one at Cambridge, and then a match day. West Ham wasn't match days to start with, but eventually with the team needing people, I fell into match days as well at West Ham, and essentially that was a massive reason as to why I'm now full-time here, I think.
So Job Teaser has really helped me with my career so far, because I think without that, I probably wouldn't really be in this situation now, because I got the job at Boreham Wood through Job Teaser. I got the job as a FLO through Job Teaser, and I also applied for this communication role through Job Teaser as well. There were so many more I did apply for, but these ones were the one that stuck out to me. And if I didn't have them, I probably wouldn't really be in this situation now.
Probably almost got a family of UCFB students here. I think there's about 8 or 9 of us graduates that are now here, and it's probably something that we look at as well when we're hiring for roles within across the club. It's kind of when you see UCFB on someone's kind of CV, it kind of bears that weight that you know that they've kind of got the knowledge of the industry. They've probably been networking already, and they've probably got the foot in the door somewhere, whether that be a first year kind of National League experience or they've been to networking, so they already know that. But I think it's just having that passion for football that it carries with someone who's got UCFB on their CV, and it's kind of, you know, that they're willing to probably give everything to work for a club or vice versa, really.
While doing the experiences, while doing the internships, a big thing for me was getting a full-time role, and that's how I saw my end of uni. So I didn't see my end of uni as graduating. I saw it as, once I've achieved the full-time role, I've finished uni and achieved it to what I want. So that was a big thing, and because of that I applied for roles, would have been around this time last year. So while I was still at uni, while I still had 2-3 months left, and I ended up getting a few interviews, one at West Ham, one at Cambridge, and one at Sky Sports. And then I ended up getting all 3 roles, which was a really difficult decision to make. Obviously, every role was different. I was proud of it because it put me in a good position, but ultimately it meant that I was going to have to start a full-time career while still studying. So I started here at West Ham in April and didn't finish at uni until the end of May. So I was actually doing a full-time job while finishing off my final bit of coursework, which was tough. But it just shows if you know, to me, that's what mattered. I wanted to get a job. I saw that as finishing uni. I did that before. So also, you know, don't feel like you can't do that. If you really want that, do it.